He walked in when I was playing with my reflection in the mirror, unaware of how much of myself I had already revealed, unaware that anyone could be watching me at all. My name is Alyssa Bennett, I am 38 years old, and that night became the beginning of everything I once thought I was too careful, too mature, too disciplined to ever let happen. Ethan Lawson was never supposed to see me that way, but once he did, neither of us could pretend it hadn't happened. The day had been ordinary in the way most of my days were. Work consumed the daylight hours, followed by the same routines that gave my life structure: dinner, dishes, folding laundry. Nothing unusual, nothing worth remembering. By the time the house was quiet and the clock ticked softly past 10, I wanted something different, if only for myself. I poured half a glass of wine, left it beside the bed, and slipped into the silk slip I rarely wore. It was the kind of garment that clung in places I wasn't used to paying attention to, a piece of clothing that reminded me there was more to me than responsibility and routine. I sat in front of the mirror, brushing my hair and watching myself as though I were looking at another woman entirely. I tilted my head this way and that, let my hand trail across the neckline, paused to study the way my lips curved when I smiled faintly to myself. I was playing with my reflection, indulging in a quiet, private game, imagining how someone else might see me. That's when the door opened. The creak startled me, my hand stilling mid-motion, and I turned just in time to see Ethan standing there. His tall frame filled the doorway, his eyes wide, his breath caught like he hadn't expected to find anyone at all. He froze, gripping the doorknob as though he meant to retreat, but he didn't. His eyes met mine, flicked to the mirror, then back again, a flash of heat and hesitation crossing his face. "Alyssa," he said, his voice low and rough, like it had been dragged across gravel. Sorry. I didn't know. He should have left. I should have sent him away." But neither of us moved. The silence stretched, heavy and sharp, until my pulse thundered in my chest. I swallowed, trying to summon words that would make sense, but the only ones that left my lips were dangerous. "Close it." The door clicked shut, the soft sound carrying more weight than any shout. The air shifted instantly, growing dense and electric. My reflection doubled us in the mirror, me in silk, him in shadow, both of us trembling with something we hadn't named yet. He stepped forward slowly, cautiously, each step deliberate, as if giving me time to tell him to stop. But I didn't. My fingers curled against the vanity, gripping wood to anchor myself as he drew closer. I could feel him before he touched me, his heat rolling toward me, his presence filling the room until breathing felt like an effort. "Why are you here?" I asked, my voice breaking the silence, trembling with more than nerves. "Because I couldn't stop myself," he admitted. The honesty in his tone startled me, sent a shiver through me. He wasn't pretending, wasn't covering up the truth. His reflection loomed behind me, his eyes burning into mine through the glass. He leaned closer, close enough that his breath brushed the back of my neck, and I shivered despite the warmth curling through my body. "Tell me to leave," he whispered. I should have. Every rational thought screamed at me to end it. But instead, I whispered back, "Stay." That single word broke the last thread of restraint. His hands hovered near my arms, not touching but close enough to make my skin ache. He searched my eyes in the mirror, daring me to regret it. I didn't. I turned slightly, facing him, and the tension snapped. His lips brushed mine, tentative at first, then deeper when I didn't pull away. The kiss consumed me, his hands gripping my waist, pulling me into him, my fingers tangling in his hair as though I had waited forever for this. The mirror behind us reflected the moment we shattered everything we thought we controlled. That night became our secret beginning. In the days that followed, life pretended to go on as usual. We smiled at others, kept up appearances, went through our routines. But beneath it all, we carried the fire of that night. Every glance across the table carried unspoken memories. Every brush of his hand when we passed in the hallway burned hotter than flames. I told myself to stop, told myself it was too dangerous, but every time I was near him, my resolve cracked. It became a game of stolen moments. A lingering touch when no one was looking. A shared look that lasted too long. A brush of lips in the shadows of the kitchen at midnight. Each secret encounter built the suspense higher, wound us tighter, until the line we had crossed was so far behind us it was nothing but a memory. But desire never exists without risk. The suspense of being discovered, of someone opening a door at the wrong time, only added to the fire. There were times I swore I heard footsteps and pushed him away, breathless, only for us both to laugh in whispered panic. The danger thrilled us, pulled us deeper, made each moment burn brighter. Still, the fear lingered in me. At night, lying awake, I wondered how far it would go, how long we could keep it hidden, what would happen when the secret finally slipped free. Because secrets always do. Yet every time I saw him, every time he looked at me like I was the only person in the world, the fear faded, replaced by the same answer my heart always gave. Yes. It was worth it. The suspense wasn't just in being nearly caught. It was in the emotions I tried to deny. What started as fire and temptation grew into something deeper. The way he touched me wasn't just hunger. It was reverence, like I was more than just a thrill, like I was everything. And the way I craved him wasn't just desire. It was need, raw and undeniable. The more time passed, the more impossible it became to separate what was forbidden from what was true. I realized I didn't just want him in the shadows. I wanted him in the light. I wanted to stop hiding, to stop pretending, to let the world see what I felt every time his hand found mine. But wanting something and taking it are two very different things. One evening, weeks after that first night, we found ourselves together again in the same room where it had started. The mirror reflected us once more, but this time there was no hesitation in our movements, no tentative hovering. His arms wrapped around me from behind, his lips tracing the curve of my shoulder as I melted into him. "Do you ever regret it?" I asked, breathless, my eyes locking with his in the glass. "Not once," he said, his voice steady. "Do you?" "No," I whispered. "Not once." And in that moment, I knew the truth. Whatever came of it, whatever risk we faced, it was already too late. I had fallen. Ethan hadn't just walked into my room that night. He had walked into my life, into the quiet corners I thought were locked forever. He saw me when I was playing with my reflection, when I thought I was only pretending, and he made me realize I wasn't pretending at all. I was searching. And what I found was him. This is how it started. This is how it will be remembered. The night he walked in when I was playing with my reflection, and instead of leaving, he stayed. And nothing was ever the same again.